Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kurious podcast. And how are you doing today? It's a very beautiful day here in Lagos, Nigeria, and I'm very excited to be here with you. And this is the third episode of the podcast, and this is very special. And I just want to say a big shout out to everyone that has been listening to us, that has been listening to every episode that we've dropped so far. We currently have listeners in over 16 countries, still growing, and this is just amazing. And I also want to say a big shout out to all the entrepreneurs that have had the time, taking out the time to be part of the show. Thank you very much for doing that. The goal of the podcast, as you know, is to showcase African entrepreneurs that are building businesses of impact on the continent, not just necessarily living in Africa, but living in diaspora as well. And to also have conversation with ecosystem drivers, who are the people that are ensuring that these entrepreneurs have the right policies to create the enabling environment for businesses to thrive, not just in Nigeria but across Africa. So today I'll be doing something special. This podcast will be a review of the 9 episodes that we've had on the show so far. The goal of this is just to distill meanings, insight from the conversation I've had from each of the entrepreneurs and try to understand the similarities in their stories. What are the things that we can learn as entrepreneurs, as policymakers, somebody that is interested in understanding the Nigeria, the African startup ecosystem. And that is what we're doing on this podcast today. It's the 10th episode. Our goal is just to distill the learnings, and we're going to start with the first interview we had, which was with Disu Akim. Disu Akim is the founder of Coinwa, which is a peer-to-peer Bitcoin trading platform. And what was interesting for me during the podcast with Disu was it started very early, all right? And there was a lot of reference to his parents' influence. And even while he was in the university, he started buying corn in remote areas, somewhere in your state. And he's going to keep it when the prices is low. And when the prices are high, this guy sells. So there's always been that drive in trying to build something, not just that Coinwa was the first business he ever started. He's been doing stuff. He's been experimenting over the years. And I think particularly he referenced the fact that his mom had like a special influence on him while growing up, because she was involved in businesses and he was able to learn a lot from her. And starting out, he had the ability to run with opportunities, all right, because the story of him starting out Conway as a platform was someone gave him Bitcoin, or like a gift, and some months down the line he checked it out and he just discovered, wow, this thing has like multiplied. What is happening here? And the curiosity was what led him to start out Conway platform. And Disu did not just build the platform right away. It started using third-party applications to trade Bitcoin. And he was just the evangelist for this. He was passionate about it, so always talking about it. So friends, neighbors, they knew him like the go-to guy when it comes to Bitcoin conversation. And using third-party app was a process they use, to launch his minimum viable product, what we call the MVP. And and now he has his application. He's done 6 figures in revenue in USD. I mean, it's just interesting to understand the process, of being passionate and being consistent in trying to achieve what you're trying to build as an entrepreneur. And he believes there's a lot of opportunities that can be harnessed in the blockchain space in Nigeria. A very unique example he gave is with the voting system, which he believes blockchain can be a tool to eliminate rigging currently his platform is focusing on mining. He said something that there are a lot of shit coins out there, and that's really interesting for me when he said that. And he said his platform is just focused on Bitcoin for now. And recently, I think they launched the first loan Bitcoin loan platform in Nigeria and Africa. So I think you can still check out conwire.com website and learn a lot about that. And so one of the key lessons is the ability to move very fast. And he was able to deal with failures because the initial business he started failed, and he was able to move. And also timing is critical. Part of the lessons he shared in terms of building a business is it's important to have good management. You have to be available when your customers need you, which I think is very critical when you're building a business. And the second episode, it was with Adetola Adele, the co-founder of Errand 360. So starting out Errand 360, which is the first bicycle delivery hub service in Nigeria using bicycles. All right. So for him, for Tola, it was a personal problem. Right. Tola wanted to have Tola actually ordered amala in his community from a neighborhood canteen. And they were like, you have to pay like 1,000 or 1,500 naira for delivery. And he was like, no. What am I? Why? Why would I pay such an amount just for you to deliver? This is my neighborhood. So that was like very, very striking for him. And he said he had to drive out. He actually had to drive out. And because he just thought it doesn't make sense for him paying that exorbitant amount on delivery just some few blocks away from his house. But after a while, he actually reflected on that. Like, I mean, these guys probably have they have a reason for charging this high. You have to maintain the bike, you have to pay the riders, a lot of other operational issues. And he was like, what can I do to make it better? And that was a striking point for Tola Adele. He wanted to make it better. And this was from the personal experience he had with being charged that exorbitant fee. What can I do to make it better? And I started researching about it. And interestingly, he worked 2 years behind the scenes, trying to understand what can be done better. And earlier this year, he launched the Errand 360 platform with 100 bicycles. And it's all based on the fact that he just had like this desire to reduce delivery cost. And now the story is also that Errand 360 is eliminating the carbon footprint. And I think as of now they've done over 2,000 deliveries with bikes. And Tola believed in starting out small. I mean, you have to be disciplined. You have to drive. And he also referenced a lot of contribution from his mom. So shout out to all the mothers out there. I believe we need a lot of female entrepreneurs, and we appreciate the love. I mean, this value that you instill in children, I think it goes a long way into building a better society for all of us. And another interesting thing Tola said during the podcast was he wanted to start Errand 360 with the right product presence. There was this friend of his that he respected so much, and he was sharing this idea with him. Hey, my friend, I want to start this bicycle company. And the guy was like, my friend, start with 2 bikes now. Start with 2 bicycles. And he felt very bad. He was like, what do you mean? How can I start with 2 bicycles? I mean, there's not even any company in China that's going to brand 2 bicycles for you. So I think the lesson in that is you have to understand how to launch out your product or your business with the right product presence. And right now, he's having conversations with investors, and the feedback has been traction. What have you done so far? Initially, they started with B2C, business to consumer, but they've pivoted the business model now to B2B. And in terms of team building, he said most of his co-founders are his friends, which also tells us that it's important for you to know who you're going into business with, because business is like a marriage. You probably have more conversation with your business partner than your spouse. So it believes in friendship. It believes in building businesses with his friends, people that he trusts. All right. So now, on the third episode, was with Paul Kelvin. Paul Kelvin is the founder of Gas Monkey, and Gas Monkey is simply trying to build a clean cooking gas for the future. And what was interesting to me about his business is that apart from the problem he was trying to solve, he understood the trend in real estate businesses as a driver for his businesses, because you're building new houses. Gas Monkey wants to make it wants to make clean cooking safe for all households. Imagine you have a building complex of 100 houses. Does that mean you have to bring in 100 cylinders into the apartment? Like he said during his presentation to the governor of Lagos State some months back, I mean, that's like 100 chances of getting the houses burnt down. So Paul is trying to change his narrative, and something interesting he's trying to do is also to make it easy for people to buy gas in micro units with his unique IoT Internet of Things device that is connected to the gas. And this also started from trying to solve a personal problem. So while growing up, Paul experienced a lot of death in terms of family members because of in-house gas pollution, and he just felt, I mean, this has to stop. This has to stop. So it was like building this business was like a life calling for him. He knew this problem existed. He has experienced some of the issues personally, and he just felt, I mean, if I don't do it, nobody else is going to do this. And that was how it started. And while he was also living in Europe, he learned things are done differently. He never saw his gas cylinder or anything like that. So when he came back to Nigeria, he knew that was the right businesses for him to do. And he gave ideas on how government can improve policies when it comes to clean cooking gas. There was this thing by the government recently where they want to make gas cylinders affordable, but this same government came out with a research that over 90% of gas cylinders in Nigeria are expired, but they're creating a program where they want to give out more cylinders. The question is, how will these be monitored? And the only news you just hear is gas cylinder explosion, fire outbreak. I mean, because once you have a cylinder, you don't really care about the expiry date. I mean, you just keep using it as long as it's serving you. You don't even want to believe that it has expired as a user. So why don't we have that framework, as a government, to ensure that we're not just giving out cylinders? We can work with businesses that can manage the process for final consumers, and this is just going to keep us safe and keep the community safe. Yes. So on the fourth episode, I hope you're having a good time while listening to this. On the fourth episode, we had a conversation with Ebby Offrey. Ebby Offrey is the founder of Jerocare. Jerocare started. The why of Jerocare was very simple. I mean, at a point, Ebby received a call from his mom saying he has neglected them. This was after his dad had stroke, and his mom dealt with high blood pressure. And being a medical doctor was like, wow, why would I want to neglect my folks? So this got him thinking. And as an entrepreneur, because during the podcast he referenced he has actually been building businesses for even before he started Jerocare, he just felt he had to do something differently. And this led to the establishment of Jerocare, which is a company that provides regular visits to the elderly. So kids can subscribe for their parents, even if you're not in Nigeria, and your folks are going to have regular doctor visits in their homes, based on your subscription. So the call from Abby's mom was what ignited the establishment of Jericho. All right, and an interesting thing he said is that during before he actually built the platform, he started his MVP offline in Port Harcourt back in the days. That he actually had people that he was visiting their parents regularly, and he was getting paid for that. And that kind of validated the market from him, because okay, if I can do this offline, people are really interested, people want to take care of your parent, that means there is a business in this. And he was able to get into ventures platform, because it started raising money very early in the business. And during the program, they raised their seed, and part of the reason he gave why they were accepted into the program was because of the pedigree of the founding teams. He's been a doctor for over 12 years as at that time. He had a co-founder that has been building software solutions for over 15 years. And the team just made a lot of sense, even though like they did not have like an MVP product online. The background and the experience of the founders was what led them to being accepted into the program. And we also had a conversation about his MBA program. So Abby believes that Jericho itself, it's a case study of the blue ocean strategy, which he learned during his MBA program. And blue ocean strategy is basically creating uncontested market and making the competition irrelevant. And there are 6 steps to this to convert ordinary business to innovative business. He said he learned this during his MBA, and he was able to apply it to Jericho. In the course of that, I mean, they've had a lot of innovative products as part of Jericho. And then the very interesting one is the Metro Atelier box, and which is very interesting, built for people in the rural areas where there are no competitions. The impact is amazing right now. And we also had conversation about funding in Nigeria tech ecosystem, and they believe for them less money at a point means they were more productive, and they had experiences where local investors pulled out in the last minute. But it's getting interesting right now, and they have clarity of mission. All right, so Abby said medical inclusion, that is what we are all about. I mean, our goal is to provide the underserved people by leveraging technology, focusing on helping the marginalized people. So I think that's really, really amazing what Abby is doing right now. So let's go on a quick break, and we'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by Skills Base Africa. Skills Base Africa is introducing a free course for those who want to start a journey in becoming a stock trading professional or just want to build their portfolio. In the course, participants will learn how to set up dummy portfolio and trade continuously. The course is based on the principles and mechanics of stock trading, as well as basic fundamental analysis such as the economic and business environment, company financials, and sentiment. To register, go to skillsbaseafrica.com/INT. SKILLSBASE Africa.com. Skills Base Africa. All right. Yeah. So welcome back to Kurious K podcast. We've been having distilling lessons and conversation we've had with entrepreneurs on the show. And Right now, we are moving over to the conversation we had with Mr. Bankole Oloruntoba, CEO of NCIC, Nigeria Climate Innovation Center. And during the conversation, Mr. Bankole was able to break it down in terms of what NCNC, the mandate of NCNC was, which is one, venture building, anchoring the ecosystem, and facilitating foreign direct investment around green investment into the country. And it's been exciting. It believes there is a lot of work that has to be done, and that clear impact in achieving sustainable growth looks like what can be happening in the next 10 years. He also believes in the top to bottom approach, which is a lesson learned in from Finland ecosystem, where there are political parties championing green or circular economy, and he believes that it's important to have availability of long-term financing, and he suggested Nigeria can also have a more structured economy policy. We can have like a green agency or a commission focused on green, and this doesn't take away the power of the environmental ministry. Another key had a reference to during the podcast was this loop model and book by the Finnish model, and it was highly recommended for people interested in trying to understand the loop model in the green space. He also referenced like the innovation agency called Citra, which is focused on investing in futuristic technology. And part of the key thing he said is that we don't even have to be the first financiers in any new technology as well, but we can also be co-financiers. And his view on the trajectory of the Nigeria tech ecosystem is that there's been growth over the years. Back in 2010 to 2015, it was mostly about mobile applications, competitions, everything was about mobile applications. But things have evolved, and it believes we can also work to build more talent. And he had a very simple idea to do this. He said, why can't we go back to secondary school and start teaching them design thinking, robotics, coding, programming, and even use local languages to teach these skills? That if we as a country design a 20-year plan for digital skills, we can actually have a path to be a country with clear goals and building our talents. UN says maybe by 2100, Nigeria is going to have a population of like 700 million people. We'll probably double our population to like 400 or 500 million people by 2050. So he believes a lot in catching them young, and there's a lot of things we can do in terms of simplifying our curriculum, gamifying knowledge. And we also had the conversations about innovation hubs. How can hubs collaborate more? And part of what he said is, innovation hubs right now should start thinking of adopting research model, because nobody funds hub operations again. And he also referenced the fact that we can use, or local hubs can collaborate better. And this can also help to enhance financing when different hubs solve problems from different perspectives. And on the 7th episode, we took a quick stop at Tanzania, and I had a very amazing conversation with Winula. Winula is the founder of Tunza, and during that conversation, the why for Winula was very simple. It was a personal problem, of managing personal finances. And at a point in 2019, he realized I'm making money, but where is everything going? Where are all the money going into? And it started to have conversation with people to understand, am I the only one having this problem? And he was able to build Tunza, which is a platform that helps users to manage their finances better. And in trying to validate the ideas, he had conversation with people in Dar es Salaam. He had conversation with businesses as well. And he's currently building his product right now in Tanzania, and the growth has been amazing. And we also had conversation about mobile money in Tanzania. It gave a very interesting data by GSM. Over 27 billion US dollars has been transacted using mobile money, in Tanzania, which is massive. And in terms of funding, it's currently bootstrapping. Winula clearly stated, I mean, he's still building the product and he wants to learn more about building a product, and very soon he will be exploring raising investment for the product. And of course, when it's time for scale, he will be looking at Lagos and Nairobi. And we had a very simple conversation about a product we built in 2015, which is Gumzo. Gumzo is like a voice sharing application it built back then. And now we have startups like Clubhouse that are doing like similar things. Gumzo built back in the years. And the question was like, how did you deal with that? I mean, you built something that failed, and now you have another company that is like doing well. And his response was very simple. Startup is brutal. That's what he said. I mean, it's brutal. I mean, I don't have to take this personal because when building something, you have to learn to be dynamic. You have to learn from your mistakes. I mean, there are different things that makes a business successful, and one of the key things is probably timing. So he realized the fact that the timing was not probably right at that time. It was building the startup in Dar es Salaam. Clubhouse was launched in Silicon Valley. They were able to raise investment quickly. So there's this lot of different views and perspective he was able to actually deal with the fact that, I mean, that's business, that's life. You have to move on. You don't have to take things personal. A typical example he gave is you have Snapchat release a product today, and tomorrow you have Instagram picking it up, TikTok picking it up. I mean, it's just a game. The emphasis was, what can you do to keep evolving yourself as a business all the time? And now, we had another amazing conversation with Andrew Arelogbe, the founder of Oga Venue and Lenko. And the story, the why for Andrew was very simple as well. It was a personal problem. Sometimes ago, I think 2012, his other sister wanted to get married. And as a last born, he was tasked with finding the venue for the marriage in Benin. And Andrew said it took him a week driving around the city of Benin and before he was able to get a venue, and that just didn't make sense for him. He was like, why can't there be something called Google for venues? Why can't I just search venues in Benin and I solve the problem? So for him, that was like the lightning cord in terms of what led to the establishment of Oga Venue. He wanted to solve that problem. He knew, he felt this can be done better. And that was the story of Oga Venue starting out. And another key thing he said when we were having conversation about funding was that Andrew knew what he wanted very early in starting out Oga Venue. And an interesting thing is that he was able to make himself accountable. So something he did was that he did a search on LinkedIn and just had identified people that he looked up to in the tech ecosystem, and he was giving them like review every month just to get his feedback, just to make himself accountable. And from doing that, he was able to raise his first investment from Jason Ujoku of Rock TV and Mark Hessen of Hotels.ng. So the interesting learning point for me there was the fact that as entrepreneurs and business owners, it's important to understand that you have to be accountable. I've had people that say, okay, I want to do business because I just want to be in control of everything. No, I mean, even if you don't have a board of advisory right now, just like what Andrew did, I mean, the fact that you're able to understand the importance of building a reporting system very early, I think it's very, very important. And that led Andrew to getting his first check and to grow his business into like 30 venues, across Africa and UAE. And he was able to also raise series of funding, and he has always been low key with it. I asked him a question that what was it like raising follow-up investment, and they said they closed most of these investment very fast, and the investors are like, you guys are very impressive numbers, and why are you guys not going to the media and stuff? And he said for them, they always see it as this is the first day. This is the first day, and just keep grinding. And I think that is a very powerful lessons we can learn as entrepreneurs. And at a point, the business evolved as a result of the COVID-19 hit, and they had to pivot to business banking, and they're able to build that, and also build a new business model from that. And the fact is that even during the COVID-19 hit on the business, the founders, the investors thought, so many businesses fail, but he was still able to keep the communication channel open, and the trust was there. And now he's building Lenko, which is an amazing neobank for businesses. All right. So as we're moving, on the 8th episode, we had a very interesting conversation with Blessing Cormo, the founder of The Rehoboth Studios. So The Rehoboth Studios was founded by Blessing just before her 19th birthday. And the why for her was simple. She wanted to save lives and help people make better health decisions. This has just been her passion. So like I said, for Blessing, her why was simple. She wanted to save lives and help people make better health decisions. And she said, I'm uniquely unique. And I just find that very interesting. And she went for a course in phytomedicine while still in medical school, just to be able to get the right knowledge, a licensing to start a business. And part of in terms of impact, what she does is she does medical outreach to help educate people that do a lot of herbs, and our company teaches them on how to even prepare this to avoid contamination. And now she has a company in Highland. She recently launched a very innovative product. I think you just have to check out the episode and learn a lot about what Blessing is doing. And on the 9th episode, the conversation was with Confidence Odionye, the president of BitDrone. And this is a very interesting story for me because I was in the same incubation program with Confidence, I think back in 2015. And what Confidence was building was a traffic management platform, basically to solve traffic problem in Lagos and Nigeria. And at a point, it was able to help move over 10,000 people to their destination successfully, but it was hard for him to monetize that. And at a point, he still also wanted to make the product better. Like, okay, can we help people move from point A to point B, and they can see this in real time? Can we give them real life video feeds? And that was where the drone idea came up from. And inquiring further, he was able to discover there are a lot of applications for drone, not just taking pictures or getting video feeds. There are a lot of applications in agriculture, in oil and gas, in mining, and that's where BitDrone was launched, and the company was incorporated as part of Transcelu Technologies. And so far, they've helped impacted over 50,000 acres of farmland in terms of spraying. I also worked with the oil and gas and mining industry. And one of the key things Confidence said is he believes a lot it's important for people, individuals, entrepreneurs to have negotiation skills. He said we negotiate every day, and that is just a very important skill for everybody to have. And we had a conversation about the drone utilization in Nigeria. So far, Confidence said we have like 85 million hectares of arable land in Nigeria, and that requires like 8.5 million drones. So can we depend on China to manufacture 8.5 million drones for us? And so Confidence is trying to solve that problem by building an ecosystem, try to bridge the knowledge gap. He currently have a partnership with the University of Ibadan, where they will be training people in drones, flying, repair. And he's also in conversation with the government of Ondo State, where they will be manufacturing the front body of drones. And the whole idea is to help reduce the dependency on China for drone manufacturing, and to also help build talent, not help bridge the knowledge gap in the drone industry in Nigeria. Wow. Thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for staying tuned to this time. I mean, it's been a whole lot of amazing conversation we've had with these beautiful, amazing entrepreneurs building great businesses. The 10th episode basically is just to do a breakdown, just to distill some of the learnings, some of the things, the interesting things these entrepreneurs and ecosystem enablers are doing. And we promise to bring in more interesting content, to have great interviews, and to make the podcast even better. So thank you very much. My name is Kolapo, the host of Kurious podcast, and see you soon. Bye-bye.